I met Lisa when I was 38. She was 33, recently divorced, and raising her 9-year-old daughter, MIA. I wasn't in the right headspace for anything serious, still nursing the wounds from a recent breakup, but there was something about Lisa. A spark, a pull I couldn't ignore. We took things slow at first, but within a year, I was all in. Lisa was quick-witted, stunning, and deeply committed to her daughter. As for MIA, she kept her distance in the beginning, which I understood. I never tried to step into the role of father. I just made sure I showed up. Whether it was soccer games, parent-teacher nights, sick days, or dance recitals, I was there. Over time, she began to trust me. When she was a teenager, she started calling me Pops. The first time I heard it, I got choked up. That nickname meant the world. Lisa and I never tied the knot. Her previous marriage had left her wary of legal commitments, and I respected that. It didn't matter to me. We built a life anyway. We shared a home, managed bills together, made plans for the future. I believed we were solid. Then last fall, something changed. Lisa began staying out late. Her phone became off-limits. She'd get snappy over the smallest things. I figured maybe she was stressed. MIA had just gone off to college, and I thought maybe Lisa was struggling with the empty nest. One morning, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed. Expecting it to be work-related, I glanced at the screen. Instead, I saw a message from someone saved as "Ah. Can't stop thinking about last night. Wish you were here." My chest tightened. Still, I didn't confront her right away. I needed to be sure. I started paying attention, found hotel receipts, odd lunch outings, and work trips that didn't line up. When I finally laid everything out in front of her, she didn't flinch. With her arms crossed, she said she hadn't felt alive in years. That Robert, a co-worker, made her feel wanted, desired. 15 years together, and she made it sound like I was a weight she'd been waiting to drop. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I just told her I was done. Then I packed my things and walked out. A few days later, MIA called. She had always been close with her mom, but her words pierced through me. I know this hurts, but maybe it's time to let her find happiness. Then she added, "You weren't even married." I couldn't speak. Was that really how she saw it? So 15 years meant nothing because there wasn't a ring. I asked. Her reply? "Sometimes that's just how life is. Pops, people move on." And just like that, the name that once meant everything to me, Pops, felt like a dagger. I moved 2 towns over, found a place of my own, and started over at 53. Those first weeks were brutal, too quiet, too lonely. I kept asking myself if I ever really mattered to either of them. But slowly, something shifted. I felt lighter. The anxiety, the second-guessing, it all began to fade. I picked up woodworking, started biking again, reached out to old friends, even went on a few casual dates, not chasing anything serious, just craving connection, a little spark of life. A month ago, MIA sent me a message. She apologized, said she hadn't understood my worth until I was gone. I didn't reply. A week later, Lisa reached out, said Robert had just been a fling, that he didn't want a future. She'd started therapy, missed me, wanted to try again. I stayed silent. Here's why. I gave them everything, my time, my loyalty, my love. And when things got difficult, they didn't just fail me, they cast me aside like I was nothing. I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. I'm just done. And for the first time in years, I feel free. It's been a full year since I walked away from what I once called home. Healing is a strange thing. Some days, the pain feels fresh. Other times, it feels like the story belongs to someone else entirely. I never shared their messages with anyone. I didn't need the world's opinion. Life had finally settled. I'd found a kind of quiet that felt like peace. But in a small town, silence rarely stays unbroken for long. Word traveled fast. Lisa's world had unraveled. Robert, it turned out, had a pregnant girlfriend she'd known nothing about. That woman showed up at Lisa's office, cornered her in front of co-workers, armed with proof and fury. The fallout was swift. Lisa wasn't fired, but she was pushed aside, moved to a dull, isolated position. Same paycheck, no purpose. Her influence evaporated. So did her friends. A few weeks back, MIA came to my door. I watched her through the peephole for a moment before opening it. She looked older, not in years but in weight, like life had pressed down on her hard. She handed me a cup of coffee, just how I like it, black, 2 sugars. We sat on the porch in silence for a minute. She didn't offer excuses. She said she used to see her mother as flawless, untouchable. And it wasn't until I left that she realized who had truly shown up for her all those years. That I had always been steady, always there. I was mad, she told me. Not at you, but at the idea that Mom could be so selfish. Blaming you was easier than facing that. I looked at her and saw all the versions of her I had known. The little girl curled against me during movies, the determined kid pedaling wobbly down the street, the teenager who cried in my arms over her first heartbreak. You used to call me Pops, I said softly. Then you told me to let go. She dropped her gaze. I shouldn't have. I gave a small nod. You were young. You didn't know. She asked if we could grab coffee again sometime. I gave her a faint smile. Maybe not right now. And I meant it. My door isn't locked, but it's not swinging open either. Forgiveness isn't the same as rebuilding. You forgive for your own healing, not because the other person has earned it. And peace doesn't have to include old voices from the past. Lisa still reaches out every now and then. A few texts here and there. I never respond. Maybe she thinks I'm waiting, that I'm just giving her space. But I'm not her backup plan. I'm not the person you return to when all the excitement runs dry. My silence isn't a grudge. It's clarity. No fight. No anger. Just absence. Some time ago, I wandered into a local bookstore, flipping through a woodworking magazine when I accidentally bumped into someone. She was in her 40s, wearing paint-splattered jeans and a smile that was somehow both warm and mischievous. We chatted about books, about dogs, about life's odd detours. Before she left, she said, "My studio's nearby. Come by sometime." I hadn't yet, but maybe life doesn't end a betrayal. Maybe it begins quietly when you finally let go of those who never truly saw you and begin to see yourself. A month later, I passed by her studio and paused. Her name was Erin. She'd once joked she was like Erin Brockovich, but instead of courtrooms, she wielded brushes. Her artwork was chaotic, alive, impossible to ignore, like it had its own pulse. I stepped inside. She looked up and grinned. "Took you long enough." We talked for hours. About music, about sawdust, about making things from scratch. There was no pressure, no past dragging behind us. Just now, just ease. We've had coffee a few times since. She's met a few of my friends. I don't call her my girlfriend. She doesn't ask for labels. We're moving slowly, moment by honest moment. Lisa emailed again last week, a long message about her journey through therapy, about mindfulness, about the ways she's grown. She said she wanted to meet for closure. I thought about it. Then I deleted it. Some people ask for closure not to heal wounds, but to ease their guilt, to slip back in quietly. I don't owe her that. MIA texts now and then. A funny video. A photo of her dorm bookshelf with my old novels lined up. She hasn't called me Pops again. Maybe she never will. That's okay. I'm not chasing apologies or justice. I'm not bitter. I've just stopped clinging to the pain. The scars haven't vanished. They probably never will. But they remind me what to walk away from, who to let go, and what to protect moving forward. If I ran into Lisa on the street tomorrow, I'd probably just nod and keep walking. True freedom isn't always loud. It's not a confrontation, not a dramatic ending. Sometimes, it's just a man on a bike on a Sunday morning, music in his ears, heading nowhere in particular, exactly where he wants to be. And that's better than revenge. It's better than being right. It's peace.